The top consumer of energy in your home, any home really, is the heating and cooling system. And when I say that, it makes you think of a traditional heating and cooling system. But there's another option out there that's very efficient, and that's geothermal. Now, geothermal heating and cooling has come a long way in both technologies and popularity. And here to tell us all about it is Tom Rutkowski from E&J Geothermal. Let's start basic. Explain to us, in real simple terms, how geothermal heats and cools a home.
Sure. So geothermal heating is a more efficient way of heating and cooling your house, where we're using the earth, which is a true renewable energy, almost as your heat battery. So if you can imagine right now, summertime, we're taking that heat that's built up in the house, we're ejecting it to the ground through a loop system. In that loop, we've got a water solution. It's got antifreeze mixed in with it, whether it's methanol or glycol, but it flows through the earth that's a very consistent 55 degrees to exchange that heat. And we use that liquid as a more efficient way of doing it. If you were to take your hand and put in a pot of cold water, it gets cold really quick as compared to just having it outside in the air. It's because those BTUs are moving quicker through that more solid medium. But that loop goes out through the ground, comes back up into the house, hooks up to the unit. There's a compressor with refrigerant there, then takes that heat and in a heating situation would bump it up to a more comfortable temperature for the house. In a cooling situation, it cools it down, and you feel the cold air come out of your vent.
It's really letting the earth do the work. So what are the other advantages of having a geothermal system?
It's extremely efficient, so it's going to cut your utility bills by 60 to 70%. It's going to be a lot more even heating and cooling throughout the house. It's not the flash fry method where you have that 140 degree heat coming out of a vent. It's going to feel like 115, 112, where it's just kind of lukewarm, and it's going to run a very, very long time at a very low amount of energy.
So you run this liquid through these loops or tubing, which is what's really happening behind us here. Now, are there limitations? Does that imply that under some circumstances, a property may not be suited for geothermal?
Very few properties are not suitable for geo. There's different types of installations for different applications. What you see behind us here is directional boring. So it's a horizontal system. We're staying about 12 to 15 feet down on average, but everything's running horizontal underneath the property. Another horizontal application would be a slinky loop, where we dig a big pit, build what looks like a giant slinky, drag it in, then backfill. Typically what you'd see with a new construction application, because the ground's already going to be ripped up anyways. Or if it's just a very, very tiny area, or if we're trying to do like a large building, we'll go vertical. And that's where we'll come in, and there'll be a vertical drill rig like you'd see for a water well, drilling down into the earth to drop in that loop, and do that how many times you need to get the right tonnage for the equipment.
What are the other considerations in determining if a property, or a homeowner for that matter, is really appropriate for this kind of system? Sure,
so there are some re-education like we talked about earlier. You have to be understanding that you're going to hear that unit running a lot, and it's fine because it's using very little energy, but everyone has that knowledge of, hey, the unit's running, I'm running up my bill. That's not the case. It's just re-educating the consumer on that. Knowing that, hey, my utility usage is going to shift. So we're eliminating gas altogether. It's all electric. And the way it would work is in the summertime, you're going to have a very, very low bill. Nothing bad in the fall or the spring, but in the winter, that's where you're going to see more of your energy usage. So your electric bill is going to go up a little in the winter, but you're not going to have a gas bill. So overall for that year, it's still going to be down dramatically. But if you need to budget, that's something important to know.
Well, as we're talking about bills, I'm sure that everyone's really curious about what the cost of a geothermal system is, but I'm not going to call it cost. I'm going to call it, I would like for you to give us a range of investment, because with those kind of savings, that's really what it is an investment. And if you could give us a ballpark range, not only for a new construction, but also a retrofit scenario like the one behind you.
Sure. So for new construction, I always compare it to a furnace and air, because that's the standard, the baseline that you could do for a new construction home. A new construction home is about $14,000 to $15,000 for a furnace and air job when they're all said and done. Not a lot of rebates out there for them. That's kind of your baseline. With geothermal, you may be in the mid-20s, $23,000, $25,000 for a contract, but then your utility company may have a rebate. There's tax credits available from the government that bring that down more in that 16 to 17 range. So it's going to be very comparable with a payback approximately 1 to 2 years, depending on if you're on natural gas or LP, and then who your electric company is. in a retrofit application, it's very easy for you to change out a furnace for 10 to 12 grand anymore. And on some of these systems that are fully modulating, you can get 15 to 20 grand pretty easily. With a standard geothermal installation like you're seeing going in behind us here, you're in the mid 20s to 30,000 range. Again, rebates, tax credits, bring that down more into the 17 to 20,000, with an approximate payback of 2 to 3 years. The biggest thing is when you put geo in a house, the home value goes up $10,000 to $12,000. Depending on what state you're in, sometimes there's even a offset for not having to pay real estate tax on that equity. In Iowa, it's for 10 years. You don't have to pay real estate tax on that 10 to 12,000 in equity.
Wow, there are a lot of perks to this.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a whole lot of financial reasons to do it, and it's just a better way to heat and cool your house. It's going to save you a lot of money on your monthly bills.
It's great information. Thanks so much, Tom. If you're looking for new strategies and technologies for your PowerHouse, visit powerhousetv.com.